Hey everybody. Today I wanted to make a video on everybody's favorite topic, software updates. Yep. That thing that we all love when our computer decides suddenly that, oh, we need to restart. Oh, and yeah, you're waiting on updates. So go make a cup of coffee, whatever it is, come back, and then you wonder, why did this happen? And well, that's what I'm here to tell you about. So the primary level of importance these days is based around security. Most of these updates, that is the forefront of why you need them, is because if there's any sort of software that's been exploited, the vendors, when they discover this, will work to create a patch for this. And so if you don't update your devices, and it doesn't have to be just Windows, it can be apps on your phone and so forth, if you don't do that in a timely manner, it's basically like a bullseye is painted on your back and it's growing by the minute. So that is definitely the most important aspect. The next thing can be bug fixes. Pesky software issues that just can plague you to your wits' end, and a lot of these will be fixed by the same method. So that's definitely another reason, because if you use Windows, which most of the world does, or some Windows or Office product, you're probably familiar with a lot of bugs that pop up and just suddenly one day they're gone. So that's mostly how that's happening. So the next thing is going to be compatibility updates. This means if you've got software that may only work in a certain way, with new versions of an application moving forward or past a certain date, well, sometimes this can add backwards compatibility, or it can allow whatever you're using to work with other systems, other devices, etc. So let's see, the next thing would be device driver updates. These are the software components that tell your hardware what it is and how it's supposed to work. So a lot of times graphics drivers are a key thing. These will be updated quite frequently, especially if you have a nicer graphics card or you do gaming, for example. So these are consistent measured performance improvements that happen over time, and it's a pretty routine thing. So these are important to do. In a lot of cases, certain device drivers, I would argue, don't necessarily need to be updated. Looking at you, Intel ProSet Wi-Fi, been a problem for a long time, but subject for another day. Aside from that, new features. Say you've got a webcam and there's a pretty janky app that runs it. Okay, well, get an update and all of a sudden you notice that, hey, the next time you use this, you've got a lot more features, a lot more options. You can choose your resolution, etc. So just a couple things there. And so kind of moving into the tips here, this is about software updates in general. So on Windows devices, a lot of people complain, this has been something I've dealt with for 25 years in IT and moving forward, is people always complain about how these updates tend to sideline them and just they're stuck waiting on their computer to come back to life. Well, the solution to that's pretty easy. Leave your computer on around the clock. Don't let it go to sleep as long as it's plugged in. Set a screensaver, lock your screen, whatever you want to do, but leave it on overnight. Chances are you're going to see more of an efficient, smooth acquisition of updates, implementations, and yeah, you can even set your active hours during the day so that if you specifically don't want to be bothered by these updates, you can exclude these particular times. And moving on to like smart devices, these are supposed to update their apps automatically, and in most cases they do, but in my case there are a few apps on my phone that even though they show that they're updating automatically, I'll do a periodic check and find that they haven't been. So it's just, whether it's a security update, a feature update, doesn't matter. It's just sometimes it's worth doing a periodic check. And the same goes for Windows or even, Apple software updates. So past that, this is just talking about software. That really haven't touched on firmware. That's kind of a whole nother subject. But anyway, in an effort to keep this short, hope that helps. Just kind of a broad strokes thing. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. All right. Thanks, everybody.